Hey guys, it's Rose here. Welcome back to Mushy Mondays. We're picking up right where we left off in the diner. So let's get into it. And even if he had down to the truth, Timrat claimed ownership of the stunt just as easily. Autumn smirked from his cozy spot in the booth while drumming his entire palm against the table in a loop. It was pretty cool, thanks. Timrak was brimming with pride over the results of her adventure. Autumn sighed quietly, softly, and the padded stopped. He had returned to peace, and the Timurat gave a big stretch. You could watch her reach up with her arms and the spoon, and you could sense the movement of her legs under the table. Omi and Opa might really be asleep when I get home this time. Do you have a key? Nope. What? Maybe I'll have to sleep outside. I'll hide under a bush in my backyard. What? Not really. Look it up. Sheesh, Tamarack. That was all she wanted to say about it, and Tamarack started to talk about a totally different thing. She chattered while tapping her heels against the back support of the booth. I came to this diner places a few days ago. Before that, I'd never seen it. Cool. I've been here tons of times. Me and my mom and dad are regulars. Wow. I've never been regulars anywhere. Bet you could be now. 2 down, 8 to go for Tamarack. 1 down, 9 to go for Rose. Or something. It could be a dozen visits that make somebody regular, or 20. Autumn attempted to giving regular advice, tempered into nothing. He might have been one, but putting a number to what made somebody normal elsewhere wasn't easy. Or guess what, Rose? That question came with a low chuckle. Omi and Opa were going to let me come for weeks because of you, they were wrong. Oh, thanks for bringing me here. You're welcome. Her bright eyes fluttered closed, and the pattering of her feet kept going. It was the only sound left. Full and warm and sleepy, you felt every second of what you've been through lately. You've done so much and met a lot of people. How did that happen in only 2 days? It was unbelievable. You drooped to the messy table, resting your chin against it. Gravity had gotten too hard to resist. Keeping your head up was no longer an option. Your drowsy gaze wandered towards the window and the dark night beyond. There had been nothing in the parking lot besides the diner, not even lamppost. You didn't expect to look at anything in particular, but it was raining. That you could see, water streaming down the glass pane. In some point between when you'd walked from the car to the diner, the first sprinkle had fallen. Fall began. Inside, you could hear it happening even a little. The thump, thump, thump of Tamarack's boots was close matched enough. Oh. The rain could be nice sometimes, and some days you wish to go away. Relaxing even more, you stare absent-mindedly at the black panel. Each time you open your eyes after a slow, heavy blink, the pattern of droplets clinging to the window changed. There were endless orange and red and yellow and gold leaves in the grove, but that wasn't everything striking about the current season. The weather with thick gray clouds and showered the world was just important to the core autumnness of the place. When you thought of fall, the picture in your head was of leaves and dropping of water falling. And it had arrived. You'd arrived too. When your family wanted to go out to eat, you went to the local diner, and the waiter there treated you special because you were a local. When you needed to leave, you had a house with a room that was all set up and waiting for you to go back to. When tomorrow came, you continued your studies as a student at North Arch Elementary School. You were in room 24 with Miss Murray for this teacher. When you saw your neighbors, you know who they all were. And you had friends. You were going to be in a place for the rest of autumn. You'd be there still for winter, and when the new year came, seasons would be coming and going with you in Golden Grove, for you weren't sure how long. What you did know was that this very moment of it was now your life. Oh, was that the end of the chapter? Oh, wow. Okay, cool. Now that you're beginning your life in Golden Grove, you may want to check back on the details of your character and update them. The info button on the right side of the screen will bring up a menu with several options. The first option is your details. Here you can change your sticker, swap between multiple sets of pronouns if applicable, toggle dress up section on and off, and update your nickname preferences. By default, most characters will obey your general nickname preferences unless you manually sort them into one of the provided categories. Oh. However, if you tell someone in the game to use or stop using your nickname, they will automatically change categories. New characters will be added to the screen as you meet them. You can also check your relationship with Autumn and Tamarack with the Autumn relationship and Tamarack relationship button on the left. Enjoy your time at Golden Grove. Oh. Play the walks moment. Oh. Yeah. Oh, they never use my nickname. They use it. See, I'm fine with her using that. Teamworking, teasing, and daunting. Tamarack's relationship. Yeah. Um. Oh wow, I didn't know we could choose this. It was so pretty at night. Moment selection. Wait. This demo includes a preview of Step 2. Parts of the preview will be arranged differently than the final game. Saves you want to make a Step 2 preview will not be loadable in the final game version. Oh. Play the walks moment? Oh. Okay, I did want to change something about how I looked. Hello again. We have another brief tutorial for you. It's time to explain the concepts of linked moments. All the scenes in the game have bits and pieces and certain choices that will end up impacting later parts of the story. However, there are some sections that are especially tied together. The moment's walks and the moment's wheels are examples of that. They are linked moments. Even though you choose walks, you can still pivot to the wheels moment. That's because two stories share an introduction. If you choose the wheels first instead, the opening scene will be the same. In this linked opening scene, Autumn and Tamarack have different ideas of how to spend a weekend. You can be a tiebreaker or leave it up to them. But either way, the group will plan to do the other suggestion on another Saturday. When or if you choose to do the second moment in the pair, the game will acknowledge it how it was already set plan you made in advance. If you replay the game, it's definitely suggested to switch up the order you do moments to see how things change. There aren't any other links moments in step 1, though there will be more in step 2 and 3. It was Saturday, one of the 2 days in the week when there was no school at all. That was too bad. You were excited for Monday already. You had lunch at home with Mom a little bit ago. When she tackled the after meal cleanup, Mom encouraged you to go outside while the weather was good. There was only a 17% chance of rain, she told you. And then she went on ramble about how it seemed in this town anything over 20% was essentially a guarantee of at least some drizzle. The talk about her weather had gone on for another minute before she remembered you were standing there listening. Mom urged you again to leave her to the dishes and go enjoy the weekend. It was under those circumstances that Autumn had gathered both yourself and Tamarack in the center of the cul-de-sac for a neighborhood meeting. Ooh, where we going? Where's my mouse? Oh, jeez. Oh, there we go. He had something he wanted to ask. Do you like bikes? Oh, do you have bikes? No. He came out with the reply immediately. What? Autumn shadow reaction was even more intense somehow. His brain hadn't been prepared for anything other than a yes. How do you live without a bike? Like this. The golden-haired girl with a little jig to show how great she was living with no bike. She tapped her shoes, her toes, and waved her hands in the air. Autumn leaned his face away from the show. All right, okay, what about something else? Anything with wheels? Just like that, her limbs flopped down again. Tamarack squished her lips from one side of her face to the other, thinking, I've got a scooter for my mom and dad in one of those closets. That works. Autumn rolled with the change in expectations, and he glanced at you. Rose? I have a bike too. His eyes sparkled. This conversation had finally gone the way he had been hoping. So you've got a bike, nice. Autumn feud relief. Finally, Autumn revealed the reason he had seemed so keen on all-wheel talk. You know, I'm meeting with the club today. Oh. Autumn's all-boy club or boys club, whatever they decided to call it. Him and those two older kids. Baxter, the mysterious boy, and the other one you didn't like. It's sort of a club thing, but you can hang out with us. I thought we could go on a ride together and everybody would like it. Autumn scratched the back of his head with his left hand. Was Tamarack the only kid in Oregon who didn't have a bike? Or did you did and Autumn did and his friends must have too, so maybe it'll be okay if we go on foot. We've still got the whole afternoon and a whole group. I don't want to go to a stinky town, sorry. Calling Golden Grove the stinky town got a stunned chuckle from Autumn, but Tamarack was totally serious. Why can't we ride things in the neighborhood? Because we live here? We always stay in the neighborhood. It'd be cool to leave while we can. I bet even you'd like to go, because it's a park. There are plenty of trees and stuff around. Have you seen that? Huh? It was on the opposite side of town from us, back where the high school is. The park is the best place to ride for speed and tricks. There's no cars or hills. But just walking around is good too. Tamarack narrowed her eyes in silence. That itself was an obvious answer to Autumn's question. She had not seen that park. Wait, you did. So did Autumn. The neighbor on the right was thinking hard. Then she let out a sharp gasp as she hopped in the air like a tire popping. Is that the special thing? Whoa. Laughing and shaking his head, Autumn barely managed to give Tamarack a straight answer. No, it's not the park. That thing is totally in the forest. His snicker and voice got quieter the more they went on until you could hardly hear him. I didn't remember I said that. I should have written it down before school. After the total swerve Tamarack had managed to pull, Autumn took control over the situation again. Yeah, I could show you that if you want to do it. He forgot. You've been waiting and waiting, and Autumn was over there without a care in the world. It's crazy. Autumn was totally unfazed by your reaction. He was too committed and going on and on his explanations. The rest of the club would come with us too. We'd have to give up on riding through the town and seeing the park though. First, I'm talking about not doing what he wanted to. Autumn's voice was light and carefree. Okay, I want to do the special thing. Cool. Oh. Tamarack began to clap and chant in time, as if she was casting a spell to make your wishes come true. Yeah. Show us the special thing. Show us the special thing. Stuffing his hand in his pockets, Autumn tilted his chin to one side. The smile decorating his face was way too big to come across as nonchalant as he was posing. All we've got to do is make this work, is promise to hang out again. We gotta go to one place this time, and next time we'll go do the other thing. Everybody will get everything, and nobody will miss out on anything cool. That fixes it. Looks like Tamarack wasn't committed to playing without the boys' club after all. She was agreed to spend 2 weekends days doing so without blinking. In fact, she was super perky about it. The roundabout trip of words Autumn laid out had been taking Tamarack from a point of complete disinterest to feeling like the boys' club activities were pure genius. At some point, Autumn had shifted his hands behind his back, and he kept that wide, I can't believe this all came together grin as he popped up and down on the balls of his feet. Oh, Lord. Autumn was crazily over the top with how he got along with people, but Tamarack was extra straightforward. Since both of you wanted to see the special thing, I'd say to make sense to do that idea first. Baxter and Darren don't know the plan, and always they're not going to care if it's riding to the park or going to the forest, especially if they're going to do both of them on different days. What do you think? Yet, asked with great eagerness, this was the final step of the perfect path Autumn had laid out. Truthfully, you'd be happy to hang out with them no matter what we're doing. Yeah, we can all go to this, but my shirt is updated. Cool. That's a promise. It was. You and your friends had this promise. Oh, he started suddenly from the thought of his own head, eyes open wide. We're not going to ride. I called the guys so they don't bring their bikes back in a second. Oh. Autumn gave a thumbs up and then dashed away before anyone could say anything about it. Your eyes followed his trail of footfalls like they were sparks from the lone fireworks shooting off. Autumn shut his house door behind him, and the neighborhood went completely silent. A realization came to you in Autumn's wake. If you were leaving the neighborhood, your mom was going to need to know about it. Oh, Mom didn't stop you from doing so. She just liked to be aware of what you were going. Tamarack, I'm going to tell my mom what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to stay right here. Tamarack was determined, as if Autumn might be trying to escape and not show her the special place after all. With that, you left. You found Mom in the kitchen explaining what's going on and went outside without any problems. That's nice, because my mom would ask a billion questions. Tamarack waved from her spot in the road. She hadn't moved an inch, and that was the only one there. Autumn's job wasn't done yet. It took a long time of standing there, probably 10 minutes before Autumn came back. Eventually, though, he bust through the white door, yelling ahead of himself that he must have agreed that it took forever because he wasn't wasting even a second then. It's all good. When Autumn arrived at the center of the cul-de-sac, he wiped his forehead with a gloved hand and then talked some more. Everybody ready? Yep. Tamarack's voice was low and serious. I'm very ready. I'm ready too. And so you and your two neighbors set out for the places unknown. Well, unknown to most of you. The first leg of the journey took you down the hilly road, and it was the only path out of your neighborhood. You had to follow it even if it got to a super secret location. Oh, it's so pretty. Your small group marched along until you'd arrived at the heart of town, and you had a crane to your neck to take it in the full view of the swirling arch marked Golden Grove. It towered over the main street and all the people in it, but it didn't distract you for long. You scurried out of the road before a car could come by. Autumn and Tamarack were right behind you. That was the first time you've gotten to go around town, just cause for fun and because you could. You had to pass through a part of Golden Grove on the way to school, but you'd never been on the main street. Tamarack silently came up to your side. She made a squash face out of sight of the local boy, commenting that she for sure still didn't like the sneaky town. Oh, dang. She was being silly. He was mean. Personally, you lost the original interest and just thought it was normal. She was right. She was being silly. The town looked super nice. I couldn't stay out even a wordless exchange for long. He began to list out what exactly the buildings were, in case you or Tamarack couldn't tell by looking or reading the signs. There's a barber store, a clothing place, a library, an antique shop, thrift store. At that, he paused, the bullet points to fit in a sly joke. Though not like you can tell the difference between those two. They're both selling old junk no one wants anymore. Autumn and Tamarack snickered together. Not even Golden Grove itself was safe from Autumn's teasing ways. My Omi loves antique shops and thrift stores. Yes, she does. Oh, and down there in the corner is a corner store. Ever been in, right? It's a great place, ton of stuff, and it's usually only costs a few dollars or less. I forgot to say something about it, but let's wait for the club. And that's what he did. Autumn zipped his lips and folded his arms, and you guess he wasn't tired of keeping people in suspense, even if he was revealing one mystery. Timur let out a sputtery, puttery breath and slumped against the brick wall behind you. Okay, we can wait again. You and Tamarack and Autumn held down the meet-up spot. Random adults passed by every once in a while, and a lot of them said hello to Autumn. They knew him. Tamarack said hi to all of them. She didn't know those people. It took even longer than it did for Autumn to make those calls. But then Tamarack flung her arms towards the other side of the street. She sounded alarm and brought an end to the watch. There, you follow her guideline, and a pair of figures were speeding around a corner. Oh, it was Darren and Baxter. Autumn sprang to the curb of the sidewalk, and he waved the two over with both arms. I was not expecting footsteps. The missing members of the club joined the group, settling exactly into place at Autumn's side, like the gloves he wore on each hand. Oh, he actually speaks. Hi. Hey. Darren beamed at Autumn's enthusiasm for a second. It faded fast when he glanced at who else was there looking. Oh, never mind. He's still a jerk. He wasn't going to point out the obvious again. Darren had resigned himself to hang out with more than the usual boys-only trio. You weren't exactly excited that he had come on the trip, so it was even. Max's expression wasn't exactly happier either. Even though he was smiling, that's because a smirk didn't count as being friendly. Hi. And Tamarack's greeting was exactly the same as the ones given to total strangers who had happened to come across her path. This was the first time you've all gotten together to do something, and it sure was obvious. All right, people, we're here. We know the plan. Special place. Tamarack whispered those two words into her scarf, anticipating sharpening the tone. Yep. But before we leave town, we've got to get supplies. The corner store is right there. So that's what he meant before. Autumn had been planning a detour to the store. Don't go into the woods unprepared, because there are things in the woods that are prepared for you. Oh, geez. Autumn could count on the club following his lead instead of looking to the biggest possible source of disagreement. Tamarack. Come on, we can pick out some stuff. It's going to be great. Tamarack's eyes narrowed, almost like Autumn giving her a dare and she was going to beat it. Then she went for her messenger bag. From the depths of Tamarack, revealed a plastic bag jam-packed with cashews. It wasn't a snack-sized baggie. It was a sandwich-sized one. I've already got food. This isn't even all. I didn't have to pay anything. Darren brought a hand to his face, astonished. Autumn scratched his head at a loss. Baxter could care less. He was not involved in any of the happenings. She was actually prepared. I guess she didn't have to do all that. Her neighbors being on the same page about the plan hadn't last long. Autumn liked to ride places. Tamarack would rather walk. Tamarack brought her own treats. Autumn preferred to buy snacks on the way. They lived on opposite sides of the cul-de-sac and lived opposite lives, and you were in the middle of it. Me, Darren, and Baxter still have got to stock up. Rose, too, maybe. And it's fun to look around, you know? Tamarack crammed her bag of cashews into her bigger pack once more. Her face of pride had fallen into the frown. Fine, but after that, we have got to go to the special place. Oh, my goodness. Tamarack was such a nice and patient girl. Thanks, Rose. Yeah, let's see what it's like. Awesome. The now complete group, first order of business commenced, and you crowded your way through the door at the end of the sidewalk. Having to exist on this single corner really didn't allow for much space for the store part of the corner store. The entire place was probably smaller than your classroom. It was warmer inside and air was stiller. Wooden panels covered the ground, thick wood beams across the ceiling, and shelves tightly packed with familiar snacks fit in wherever possible. Instead of being inside an extra small shop, it was more like being inside of a giant treasure chest. You took stock of your surroundings. The owners hadn't wasted room on boring stuff. Your eager steps clattered against the hardwood floor, drowning out the slight hums coming from the fridge in the back. Nearby, Tamarack wished her head this way and grasp everything in the environment as rapidly as possible. On one twist of her eyes met yours, and she didn't keep going from there. Tamarack continued to look at you. She grinned, and it was easy for you to know that what was on Tamarac's mind. You and her were the same again. It was both of your first time being in the space. After everything you'd already done, you were still newcomers to the town. Meanwhile, the Optimus crew moved to the store as if it was their own living room. They navigated to the chips, crackers, aisles without a thought, left to confront the hundreds or thousands of things there to be brought. You unconsciously patted at the pockets of your clothes. You had a little more than $4 in bills and some change. Thoughts on your personal savings were interrupted when your ears caught into a peculiar conversation. A trio of boys had started chatting about something while wandering in the aisles. Who did it before? I don't remember. I could do it. That solution didn't satisfy Mr. Autumn. He groaned dramatically. You're probably the one who handled it last time. You don't remember that, remember? I know that much. Who was before the last time, me or you? Autumn deftly jabbed a finger into Darren's shoulder. Baxter was out of the equation for whatever it was. It's been a while since then. It could have been either of us. Refusing to accept a situation so obvious he could see it from a distance, Baxter offered another suggestion. Hey, we could play rock, paper, scissors. Though he knew that what he was doing, every inch of Baxter's face and note of his voice expressed amusement. It wasn't only Autumn who was unimpressed. Then Darren and Autumn heaved sighs of unison, dipping their heads low before smiling playfully at one another. You know, that's a good idea, right, Darren? Yeah, it'll settle this perfectly. Tallest of the group pulled himself up even higher. So actually, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here, guys, and I'll catch you next Monday on Wishy Monday. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.